continuing commitment to build educational relationships in a living culture by encouraging and support practitioner researchers to create their own living theories. So the research, what are you referring to?
Well, my contribution to this particular session under this topic of hopeful and loving educational activism and living theories for social transformation.
Okay.
So it's just like, this is what I'm going to write about.
Right. So if you were meeting somebody for the first time that you'd never met before and they didn't know who you were and what you've done, what would you say, just in a bulleted list kind of thing, that would demonstrate your continuing commitment to build educational relationships?
Well, I think I would have to go back and talk about some of the people that I've worked with in the past, like you and Kathy, and then bring it up more to the present, where I've worked with Michelle and Julia. So that would kind of show that this is not kind of a short-term thing. I've been working on this over 20 years.
That's right.
And, I could make a list of some of the works that would cover that topic.
Well, I think it might be helpful, Jackie, just to make that list. Just make the list, and a bulleted point of in the list. And really that's what section 1 could be. And then you can kind of reflect on whatever goes through your head at the time after you've made that list, like looking back at this list, kind of how did you, how do you respond to that? And then the second part, the ontological importance of conversation and dialogue in my relationship informs this approach to educational conversations as a research method. So to me, there's two things there. Ontological importance in the dialogue, and the fact that you're calling it a research method.
Yep. Okay.
So then you could expand on those things, making references. So even if you look at that list and you say, okay, which of these is the best example of, the ontological importance or the dialectic, relational, whatever, and which of these really is the best example of a research method. And you can then just refer back to that bulleted list. And then the second part of that, it is embodied in my dialogic way of being. That's what I was trying to say. Your dialogic way of being. Well, I mean, they're all examples, but just pick, one even from that list and say, this was a prime example, and expand on that. And then talk about the digital data. And then same thing for the next one. As our living theory movement expands, so how is it expanding? And, what is the activism? Yeah, there you go. There's your paper.
Well, that sounds pretty easy. Should be able to rattle that off in the next hour or so, eh?
Well, maybe the next afternoon. No, but